Hey, everybody. Show 25. This is my third take trying to get this intro right, so I'll do the best I can. A lot of fun this week. We talk about the Stanley Cup Final. We talk about the Seattle Kraken, and we talk about a bunch of other things, including our good friend Tori Newman, who slips into the show somehow because we started talking about Jets, and she just wrote a thriller, best seller. It's coming out on flying from LA to New York. So that's all we got for you, but just a quick plug for Ian. He's going to be in Huntington Beach on Friday night at Sea Lakes. And Saturday night, he's going to be in Escondido, where, let's see, that's the Grand, and it's going to be 75 degrees down there on that day. So go see him. He's coming to Vegas at the end of July. Enjoy.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you? Welcome to July. We've celebrated Canada Day. We've celebrated July 4th. Yeah. How you doing? How's things turning out there, y'all?
How's it turning out? Well, I got to tell you, July 4th kind of went into July 5th. So I had a kind of a late finish to July 4th and an early start to July 5th. But I feel good. And, I'm pretty fired up today because this is our 25th anniversary show.
Oh. Does that mean somebody should get
25
tonight? That's what that means.
What's that?
Somebody should get a Stanley Cup tonight. That's what we should.
We're going to find out. But yeah, overall, good, Lord Bagg. How about yourself? Everything?
Yeah, good. I was at one of my favorite clubs, the Ontario Improv in Ontario, California. And by the way, I was notified this week. It's the most refunds they give before a show happens because I have a lot of people from Ontario, Canada buying tickets and then realizing it's in California and have to get the money back. Yeah.
Well, I do like that. I do like that club. When I am down in the SoCal area and I go over there with you. That's a cool club. Treat you well over there. It's always fun. Well. That's too bad. Hopefully the people in Ontario, Canada can see you soon too.
I hope so as well as the people in British Columbia, Canada. I would like to see them as well.
I know. Yeah, I think we're rounding the corner. Actually, I think tomorrow, July 6th, I think the gloves come off and you can actually, if you're double vaccinated, start going. I think the border's opening up. Obviously, you got to get your COVID tests, and then you probably got to get one when you get up there or when you come down here or whatever.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm all for that. Yeah. When are you planning on going up to Terrace, British Columbia to see the fam?
I'd like to go. Well, I wanted to go at the end of July, but there's a big Lord Bagg. What do we call it? Show.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, extravaganza. We got to come up with a fancy $10 name. Coming to the Vegas area again, so I will not be going then. But I'm thinking August or September. I'd like to get up there. Always beautiful any time of year, but specifically that time of year. Mm-hmm. So that's my plan. You want to go together?
I was thinking about going. Yeah, when you go, I was trying to get Trent to meet us up there as well. So we're just trying to get Trent, just getting all crazy.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Going, yeah. Well, I thought the hockey was last night, but it was not last night. I put something on Twitter and I was chirped mercifully. No, what I don't mercilessly. I don't know. I don't know words. I just work with them. People are all over me. It's tomorrow, you douche. Blah, blah, blah. They're all over me. I'm like, well, I expected it to be. I didn't know they were going to take July 4th off. So because whatever. So it's happening tonight. And I don't want to predict anything, but I do suspect we'll have a Stanley Cup champion tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tough to say. And I was with you. I was all looking forward to Sunday night, July 4th. Everyone's barbecuing down here in the States and having a great weekend. I thought it'll be on the TV. My hope is that Montreal could kind of get themselves going and, create a little excitement in this series. But it just seems like all the air is coming out of the tires right now. Now, the benefit, I think, if you're a Montreal fan is they didn't have a day off between games. They had 2 days off. And maybe that's just enough to recharge the batteries, refocus, kind of block the bad, harness the good energy. And love to see this series if it could. I'd love to see it go back to Tampa. And then, I'd love to see it at least make it to 6, them kind of get themselves going again. But man, oh man, Tampa has looked, other than game 2, they didn't look very good. Their goalie played great. Games 1 and 3, they've been dominating.
I got to be honest with you. They didn't look great, but the fact that Montreal was not able to take advantage of them on their worst game, it says a lot. And it just, I texted you yesterday. I expect them to say that Carey Price was hurt. What do you think? Am I out of my mind?
No, I don't know. I just think that, here's what's happened in this series. Tampa Bay's power play is next level in the league. The only one I think that kind of you could rival it with, but wasn't fantastic in the playoffs was Edmonton, because Edmonton was gone so quickly. In the regular season, Edmonton kind of rivals them.
Edmonton was in the playoffs? I don't recall them being in the playoffs at all.
Yeah, they were there for a week, but the difference is
they were there for 4 days.
Yeah, it was like I think did they play a back-to-back maybe too? Or is that the next series with Montreal, Winnipeg? But
they did a long weekend. That's all.
Yeah, it's all blending together, like I said. But the biggest difference here is you get into the net against Montreal. They're wearing down their top 4D. Tampa Bay is, and Tampa Bay's top 6D are all could be number ones on a lot of other teams in the league.
Well, they will be next year. They will be next year because they won't be able to afford them. So that's what's great about this. When people say, "Oh, it's crazy how good they are," I'm like, "You're $18 million above the salary cap. Imagine if you sucked and you were $18 million above the salary cap." That's yeah. They're all. Sorry, I'm angry.
No, you don't. You got to look at who they're going to be able to keep. So it'll be 6 forwards and 4D, and of course Vasilevsky will be their goalie. You're probably going to have to expose our Savard, I believe, becomes a free agent. So let's just go who they're going to keep, or at least who I think they'll keep. And I might be wrong in a couple of forwards.
Okay, write it down.
Write it down, and then go get your Mega Millions tickets.
Just play their numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if it goes as high as Hedman. I don't think it does. But so you get a Hedman, you got Sergachev, you got Chernak, and then you got McDonough, right? Okay, so those guys. So you still got still the best top 4D in the league. Then you go up front, and I might miss a guy up front, so I apologize. But I'm guessing you're going to have Stamkos, Kucherov, Cirelli, Point. So let's just say Palat and Kaloran possibly. And I might have missed a big star. But anyways, if that's your first two lines and your top 4D, you're still going to be super competitive. And if Tampa Bay, and we're not crowning them yet, but they're still going to have this problem, whether Montreal pulls the miracle or not. Whether Tampa Bay wins or not, Tampa Bay, as you said, is $18 million above the cap, and they got some unrestricted free agents coming. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I thought we'd get to this later, but we'll get to it now. Between whenever the Stanley Cup ends in July 23rd, which is expansion draft, is going to be some of the most exciting action of the season, because I believe there's going to be teams just moving players around left, right, and center, guys they don't want to expose, maybe getting draft picks back or trying to get young guys back that they don't have exposed. Now, the only team in the draft that in the expansion draft that doesn't have to expose a player is Vegas. So you can go 7 forwards, 3D, and a goalie, or 6 and 4, 6 forwards and 4 D. And you also can't expose anyone with a no trade. So there might be someone on Tampa that's got a no trade that they just, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they just flat out waive them or whatever they got to do. But Tampa is a team to look out for. And if I'm the rest of the teams in the East, after Tampa Bay's kind of just had their way with it the last 2 years, you're pretty excited because you're going to see them look a little bit different.
They're going to level off a little bit. That's what I'm going to put something exciting out there. I'm the general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I go to Stamkos and I go, you know what? You've won 2 Stanley Cups here. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go play? Or I'm Stamkos and I go, hey, I've put in a lot of time here, made a lot of money. We've got 2 Stanley Cups. Let me go take a huge payday someplace. Does that sound fun at all?
Not really. He's in Tampa Bay, Florida right now. I mean,
but he could go to Toronto. He could go to his hometown, Toronto, and change everything there. You know, he could go to Seattle and build from the bottom up something.
I just don't know if you're going to see a guy like him. I mean, he might. I don't know, but I just don't know if you'll see a guy like him heading that far west. Now, here's a team. Let's just talk about this guys.
Let's talk about this guy.
Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh,
They said hey, listen, we'll move you there. But then again, we'd have to look at who Colorado's going to protect. And, and that's where the rub is. You saw, I guess we can move on to these guys. I don't know if you want to keep talking about who's going to win tonight or tomorrow, but
it's hard to talk about because we've watched this series, right? And it's hard to talk more about this series. And I listened to the pundits and what they had to say about the series. It's just the same thing. It's just the same. There's nothing more to say. We're watching a team fizzle. And I would have loved to have seen the Montreal Canadiens win, but they've gotten to a point where they're just running out of gas. And I don't think an extra day off gets them right back to full. And
yeah, you're right. And they're kind of going backwards, right? And everybody is watching can see that with the series. And it reminds me, like the other night when I think it was Hedman that scored. They scored 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the game. Mm-hmm. One of them was a power play. Well, that was Montreal's bread and butter throughout the playoffs, is being able to take momentum away from the other team and gain momentum for themselves on the special teams. Well, Tampa Bay's taking that away. Then Montreal is able to keep forwards and defensemen from the other teams from in front of their net. Tampa Bay's taking that away because they're getting there, but they're not getting to the front of the Tampa Bay net. So the script has been flipped on Montreal. All the things that they were doing so well. You're just up against such a good team. Now, I don't know. I think tonight, if you can get a couple bounces early, you get feeling good. A guy like Toffoli gets going tonight. Josh Anderson comes back and becomes the power forward and the player that he's been in this playoff. Then you can take some pressure off your D. But what's happening is Tampa Bay's not allowing that, and sometimes you just got to tip your hat to a team that's not even got more talent, which everyone would agree, but they're working as hard, if not harder, and that's a really
bought into everything. Yeah, they're bought in. They're bought in huge. Kokamyemi. He's not dressing tonight. I don't know if they're putting Tatar in or what, but he's not.
Jake Evans is going in tonight. And I don't know. I saw that. I was like, this is a young guy, and maybe they just need, like, he looked to me the other night a couple times. They show him, and it's like you could tell it was spinning for him, and maybe they just want to get him out, get him to compose himself. They can get to Game 5, maybe he gets back in, but I don't know. And Jake Evans is a guy that we're all pulling for after the injury that he sustained in the Winnipeg series. So obviously we'd love to see him back in the lineup, but I like Miami. I can't even say his name. I apologize. We'll try and say it, but I like him. He was dynamic. So he's out tonight. I'd like to have seen him in, but Jake Evans is a good young player for them too, and a guy we're all pulling for because he's back healthy. And anyways, we'd just like to see some kind of bounce tonight, but I don't know if you guys.
I would say you can put money on the fact you won't see Evans coming around from behind the net trying to slide it in. Half of this podcast is just me saying stupid stuff to get your response. That's what I like.
No words.
No words.
No words for that. I can kind of chuckle because he's back playing and he's got his he's back together. But that was tough to watch when it happened. But
absolutely,
that's now you can say something. I think you're right now, but.
I love it. Well, that's what we're both agreeing. Love to see Montreal do something. Sadly, we've seen this script many times where a team plays over their head and gets to the finals and then just gets taken down. It says how much Tampa is a better team than everybody else in the league. And the jump is huge. So, and also I would say because these teams usually play each other. There's some sort of, we can see what sort of level they're at against each other, but we didn't have that this year. So,
No.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Stamkos is going to go to Vancouver, and so is Duncan Keith.
Oh, okay. So you want to talk about Duncan Keith?
Sure.
People that don't know, Duncan Keith is going to be a Hall of Fame defenseman. He got 3 cups with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's rumors out there that he wants to move out west. And I believe he's from Penticton, British Columbia.
Apparently he has a child in Penticton that he wants to live near.
Yeah, so he's looking for something in Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Possibly, I don't know, Seattle's not that far away either. But it'll be interesting to see, because I could see a team like Vegas. I could see the Kings. I could see San Jose. Well, maybe not so much San Jose, but Anaheim looking for that kind of player and going, hey, listen, not that far away. We're really not that far. I mean,
we'll the Jets.
Yeah, we'll get you. We'll work it out with you. But again, LA's got the team, is the team with all the money, cap space.
That's one of those things that I've heard in the deals that these guys get. They get a certain amount of hours with the team jet. And I'm just like,
pretty sweet. I tell you what. Well, we need to get a little bigger, and you and I, we need a team jet.
We need team slice jet.
Slices, just an orange jet, like the old CPR colors. And we got to get a picture of CPR as always. One of my favorite colors. I don't know, wherever, either side. Just block our faces with it. CPR, Canadian Pacific, and their call sign used to be Empress. And we need a team jet with the CPR colors on it. And when you see it in the screen, oh man, it was awesome. So let's work a little harder at this.
We'll work a little harder. And when the stewardess comes around to ask you what you want to drink, she tells you're having an orange juice. That's right.
And then you get punched in the face because you just called her a stewardess.
I didn't even think of that.
Hey, which reminds me, way to go, Ian. You brought up. I gotta get an early shout out this week, and I got to get the book. So Tori Newman, who's a flight attendant, years ago I used to work with, back when I was at Virgin America years ago, was unbelievable working for Sir Richard Branson. Tori Newman wrote a thriller, and I'll get the name of it here before or after. She was a flight attendant. She wrote a bestseller. It's going to go on as a bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list. It's getting released this week, and I'll get the name to everybody here in a few minutes. I know we've gone off the hockey podcast here for a second, but we're trying to gain in other areas. And when you said stewardess, I thought of Tori and her book, and I'm
funny.
Hey, stewardess to Tori, she probably scissor kick you up the side of the head, because
so she's a lesbian too.
And of course, now they signed her. She's done a 2-book deal. And here's a good one for you. Universal outbid Netflix for the movie rights. So that is unbelievable. So I'm like, everyone's sitting there going, Jeff, you guys are never going to get a jet. And I'm like, don't be so fast to judge. You never know. By 50, if we can get to 50, we might be able to start collecting a few, coins here and there to put towards our own jet.
If we don't get canceled because I called somebody a stewardess instead of a flight attendant.
Yeah, I like to call them in-flight team. And we have an in-flight team. We're a team, just like you and I are, even though sometimes our team is a little bit strained. So I'm going to get the name of the book.
I don't call them anything
today. So
I don't call them anything because I sit in first class with an attitude.
Oh, I know. And you know what? You got to put up a picture of Pearl looking out the window, right? Judging everybody with their dad on whatever seat you're sitting in. What is it? 2D? 2D.
She's looking out the window at the baggage handlers thinking, you better not drop that. Those are goddamn milk bones, you son of a bitch. You don't break those. So,
I can't believe it. I got it. Oh, here we go. Falling. I think it's called Falling. Review. Anyways, former flight attendant, Tori Newman, awesome, one of the best people in the world. I think it's called Falling, and it's written on it's fiction, right? Not like us. We're nonfiction.
We're non.
From LA to JFK. She used to do red eyes all the time. And anyways, we got totally off on our jet. And then you said the S word, which really is a good way to get
sweetheart, can I get an orange juice?
So Anyways,
Brian Almy, the biggest Montreal fan in the world, will put it up here, and we feel bad for Brian, even though he's had a great season. Got to cheer more than usual. We'll put it up right there. And the book and the movie Falling from Flight Attendant. Tori
Newman, yep, and ex-flight attendant, because now she's writing books, and look for it in a movie theater at some point in the not too distant future. I don't know, but maybe we could like grab some kind of role in there. Maybe it could be RJ, but it's a thriller, and who knows?
Maybe I could be the flight attendant in the back.
We're talking about Duncan Keith, and all of a sudden we went off. I
brought up that that's something that they give you in these deals, hours on these private jets, and so when you think the guys out west, Vegas or Los Angeles isn't really that far away from getting to Kelowna, Penticton area, or getting somebody down to visit you, whatever the way, compared to Chicago. So, and from what I've read, it's time for him to get a payday. He took a team-friendly deal to stick with Chicago when they needed it, and they were able to win Stanley Cup. So it's time for him to be paid.
Well, let's remember, I think he's got 2 years left at 5.25 or something. So it's not like he's not getting paid for what? Yeah, it's not great money for him, but he's going to be 40, I think, near the end of this deal, or 39. So anyways, I like this. That would be kind of exciting if you are a Kraken fan, or maybe the Oilers or the Canucks, and you can try and reel him in. There was talk about him coming to Vegas around the deadline last year, but I think your version of Duncan Keith in Vegas is Alec Martinez, and you want to get him re-signed because the guy was heart and soul. Hey, so also we're on the Blackhawks. Let's talk about Jonathan Toews coming back, and he was on the ice for the first time last week. And when you watch this guy live, he is brilliant. He's so smart. And of course, he plays with Kane a fair amount. Actually, pretty much, I think most of their career, they probably played together, but they separate them. They're both just super players, and it's good to see Jonathan Toews back. He had a health issue that he's on the other side of now. And good for him. So lots of news coming out of Chicago, and some of it not so positive, but there's two positive pieces. Keith looking to move west somewhere in
Chicago could get their wrists slapped quite hard, and you could see them lose some things. I don't know how you punish them. I really don't know. How would you punish them? How would the league, would they take draft picks away? Would they, I don't know what they would do.
Yeah. I could see there's I don't even know. Is it a misconduct allegation, for those that don't know, against the Blackhawks? A former player felt that he was, or said he was pressured, and it was basically sexual misconduct against him. And it's a tough story, but it got reported, and then it got lost somewhere. And of course, there's people that are out now saying, yeah, we reported this to this level and this level. So the NHL's under investigation now, are looking at it. And of course, there'll be other people looking at it. But Chicago could end up with a massive fine if they are found that they didn't handle this properly, and this player was actually subject to sexual misconduct. And also they could see a massive fine, and I could see draft picks going. This wasn't too long ago. Phoenix or Arizona lost draft picks, high draft picks, because of the way, well, you remember that one better than I do, but that was last year.
Yeah. They took away their first. I think they lost 2 first-round picks, right? Didn't they lose it?
Yeah, it was a first and a second, and so they don't have a pick in the first round this year in the draft, which is going to be July 28th, best day of the year, and we'll tell you why when we get closer to July 28th.
I wonder if somebody's born on that day.
Maybe. So, we said we're going to try and do 25 minutes today, and we're already at 23, and I don't even know if we really talked about hockey. But
we talked about hockey. We talked about getting Jets. We talked about the Jets are in the league. Let's go to Seattle Kraken. Talk about their hire of the coach, and then we'll move into shout outs, and then we'll jump out. And tonight we'll watch the game. If you're a big fan, we'll be watching the game, and we'll have the Stanley Cup at my house, and I will be giving it to somebody if there's a win. Yeah,
you can drink out of it with Ian. So, okay, Dave Hextall is the coach in Seattle. Our good buddy Rod Buskus, who is a really good friend of not only the shows, but both of us, and I played with Busky, played with Dave Hextall, loves him, says he's a great guy.
Really?
Dave Haxtell was at UND, University of North Dakota, for years, where they just have a juggernaut. How do you like that word? Juggernaut. That was for you, Ian, not for everyone else. I just couldn't believe I got that out. But he was there, and they were very good. He came right from college to the pro game. And in college, and just like youth sports, you're just developing and working with people. In the program, you're there to win.
Program.
I didn't even know. Was that a word I just said? But
we've been struggling with some words today. But
man, I'll tell you what. The morning after, the night before, right? But we're trying to get there. But he said, even from training camp, he said there's things he'll do differently now that he's had the experience. So he kind of came off the radar. He was under the radar. They had a lot of other guys, but I really like what Ron Francis. He was a great player. He's a great executive in the game. And Dave Haxtell, I think, will be a really nice fit in there. And don't be surprised if they're not challenging for a spot in the mighty Pacific Division next year. I'm just throwing that out there now, looking at who's going to be available.
July 5th, yeah. Jeff said they're going to be.
You're rubbing your head for it like you just had enough. Eh? Is it time for a nap or just shut?
No,
it wouldn't shut up.
The fact that you made it a prediction, none of our predictions have turned out. I'm like, really? You're going to go into season 2 making predictions before season 1's over?
We might not even be on the air by then. So, oh well. I don't know. Something about Seattle tells me that there might be a little bit of spark there. And for those, again, about Seattle fans are crazy, and that building is going to be nuts. And like I remember playing junior there and pouring chew on you, and just kind of every drink they had, beer, chew, whatever was available, it got poured on you in the old days in Seattle. I'm not sure that's the same crowd today, but they're
it's much computer nerds now. I was not thrilled. I thought, you know what? He's already had a chance. And then the more I read about him, the more I understand what they're going afterwards. He's very much like Tampa's coach. When I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now, but I am. Cooper. So he's very much in the same mold. We've seen how it works out. It's a building process that pays dividends, and I get why they've decided to go after him. So I look forward to seeing what Seattle does.
Okay,
you're welcome.
Well, at least you could say that without rubbing your brow or your forehead like you just had enough.
Why does he talk? Why does Sharples talk? Well, stewardess, can I get another coffee, please? Do you have any shout outs this week? We got to wrap this up.
You know what? I do have a shout out to our good friends Gary and Andrew, who hosted us so eloquently. We had the best July 4th. We had 7 dogs at this house with the fireworks going off. It was a gong show. Only thing we were missing was Lou and Pearl. Easy for me to say. But Gary and Andrew, thank you so much for hosting us. 2 of the nicest people that we know in Vegas. And I hope everyone else, I know there was a little bit of sad news with our July 4th in our hockey world, but I hope everybody had some time to spend over Canada Day and the July 4th weekend in both countries with their family and friends. And just a shout out to Gary and Andrew. Thank you.
It really, I'm going to give a shout out to my wife who knows how to cook like we're having people come over and then nobody's coming over. So I'm going to give a shout out to her. She just goes nuts. So we have a good time. She goes, look, I need to have all this right now. So she meant, and then we got to drive down to Candace's house and drop Candace off food on July 4th and watch all the fireworks from the 405. And oh my God, if you ever want to see the best firework display, get on the 405 and drive to San Diego and back around firework time, because you will just see everybody's fireworks going off. It is fantastic. It was good. And Lou was panicking and sitting at the bottom of the seat of the car, but we had a great time. So big shout out to my wife who overcooks.
But she can throw down.
She
knows how to get it done. And I just wish I was there. It sounds like it was really good.
Yeah, in the middle of corn, potato, small little potatoes, shrimp. Like she did a crab boil. She goes, I really want a lobster salad. I'm just like, who the f did I marry?
Oh man. Well, I don't know. We got to. We want to. I don't know how we wrap it up after that.
We wrap it up. We wrap it up with appreciate your family. Have a good time. Don't take them for granted. After what we've seen this week in the NHL, yeah, 2 weeks in a row, a little bit of sadness, but after a great weekend, enjoy the game tonight. We'll be on the old Instagram. You'll see Jeff and Ian up there if you want to say hi to us. And love to all.
Love to all. Hey everybody. Show 25, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian. We try to stay around 25 minutes this week, but for some reason we just can't seem to do that. But we had a lot of fun. We end up talking about the Stanley Cup Final again. We talk about the expansion draft, the Seattle Kraken, and a few other teams. Talk about some players. Talk about private jets and commercial jets. Don't know how we got there. Also, a shout out to our friend Terry Newman, who's got a best-selling new book out called Falling, a Thriller from LA to JFK. So that's in there too. I don't know how it got in there, but it is. Ian's in Huntington Beach this weekend at Sea Legs, July 8th. He's in Escondido at the Grand, July 9th, where it's going to be 75 and sunny on Saturday. He's at Vegas at Panavino at the end of July, and right now I'm going to say that's July 28th. Dinner and a show. So Mr. Bagg, Lord Bagg, is moving. Enjoy.